Breaking news from WRAL. Coverage you can count on.
Breaking news right now at 6. Storm cleanup crews are out this morning in Apex after storms knocked down trees and knocked out power. You're taking a live look at a closed-off Williams Street. The WRAL breaking news tracker is there and following the progress.
Also breaking news we're following. Crews successfully overturned a dump truck overnight after it flipped over in Raleigh. We will tell you how the driver is doing this morning.
And two things to know. Of course, it's all about the heat and the storms. I'll show you what to expect for this afternoon and into the weekend.
And lifeguard shortages as summer gets into full swing. Some Triangle pools are trying to make sure they have enough lifeguards on staff. We'll explain some of the problems that pools are facing right now. Not a good time to have a problem at the pools because of how hot it has been. Flynn Snyder will have more for us coming up on your Friday morning. Thanks for joining us. I'm Michelle McConaughey in for NHU.
And I'm Jeff Hogan. Thanks for making us part of your Friday as we get started here with your routine. You know it throughout the week, right?
Yep.
The problem is with the pools, the offer they're going to make for folks to get their pool certificates, their lifeguard certificates. This is going to be a great way to get involved in that if you need a job, right? Elizabeth Gardner over in the WRS Severe Weather Center with our next weather maker as it rolls in after a hot week.
Yeah, so more heat. That's going to be our next weather maker. The heat that we'll see lingering across the area will help to pop up some thunderstorms later on this afternoon. So we do have a level 1 risk for severe storms. We could see some heavy rain as well as strong gusty winds with these storms. Very similar to yesterday. We're going to head out to Apex where there were trees down and power outages, but it's very isolated. And that's what we'll see again today. It's a 30% chance this afternoon and a 40% chance during the evening. That means that most of us won't see it. At RDU this morning, we have a mix of sun and clouds, some high thin cloud cover out there, and it's warm and muggy, of course, 74 with a dew point of 70. And our hour by hour heat index does take us up into the triple digits, but just around 100 to 102. On Wednesday, it was 110 plus. So this still is in the danger zone, but it doesn't bring us into the heat advisory. I'll talk about how it will feel through the weekend with the heat coming up. Ken?
Well, Elizabeth, happening now in the WRAL Traffic Center because of that stormy night that we had last night caused some real issues over in the Apex area. Williams Road, Highway 55, if you will, shut down in both directions around the Beaver Commons area. Let's get to Ali Cadlebar live at that scene to let us know what's going on and what's happening now. Ali, good morning.
Yes, good morning. It's been a very long night for utility crews out here, and now that the sun's up, we're really starting to see what's going on out here. Just in the past 5 minutes, we've seen utility crews pull that line up from near the road to that utility pole over there. It's been a very long night. They've been out here for more than 8 hours. This is video from the WRAL breaking news tracker. Apex Police Department says a downpour last night around 8:30 knocked down a tree. It broke 2 electric poles and pulled lines down across the street. Police say more than 2,500 customers in Apex lost power. Almost all of those customers, power has been restored. We are working to find out when this stretch is going to be open, but looks like there's progress. Ken, what should people know about this detour?
Before that, if you have any plans to go to Beaver Creek Commons today, I would avoid it for the next hour or two until this whole situation is cleared. So if you're coming south on Williams Road Street, just take Highway 64 as an alternate route. If you're heading north, you've got a few options. Olive Chapel Road that turns into 100th Street, Apex Peakway, maybe Haddon Hall Drive. You can turn right and work your way out of that particular area, but just avoid that area altogether. The other thing we got to tell you about is that all the major routes from Wendell to Raleigh, Durham, Chapel Hill, all delay-free at this hour. You get ready to head into the car, though. Tune us in on the radio. We got you covered. 101.5 HD3.
Another scene from overnight. Tow trucks were there with a dump truck overturned on Capitol Boulevard in Raleigh. This happened just before midnight near the overpass of I-540. The driver suffered minor injuries. No charges are expected. The crews were able to get that dump truck back on its wheels, as you see there, and then they removed it from the road around 2 a.m.
And Raleigh police are looking for a suspect this morning after someone was stabbed at a bus station. It happened on South Blunt Street. The victim's injuries are not life-threatening. A lifeguard shortage in Raleigh could lead to disruptions at your next visit to the pool. WRAL's Flynn Snyder is live at the Optimist Pool in North Raleigh. And Flynn, the city needs to fill dozens of positions.
Yeah, Michelle, good morning. Raleigh's aquatic director says the city needs to fill about 40 lifeguard vacancies. They need people to sit in these chairs to keep a watchful eye over swimmers in pools like this one. Morning swim well underway here at the Optimist Pool in North Raleigh. And with pools expected to be crowded during the upcoming hot weekend, pool staff say they don't have the amount of lifeguards at some locations to safely handle full capacity. They're encouraging anyone at least 15 years old to apply for their free lifeguard certification through the city of Raleigh. And while they haven't had to close any pools outright because of the shortage, the city's aquatic director says capacity may be limited at some locations because of the shortage.
We'll go one in for one out just because we only have enough lifeguards for the main pool or perhaps for different areas. Sometimes we have to close the wading pool, which is a disappointment for parents with small children that are counting on that being open.
Yeah, it's not just Raleigh. Officials in Durham say they're also looking to fill 40 lifeguard positions. Here in Raleigh, officials say the biggest challenge is finding people available to work those weekend and evening shifts. If you're curious, too, starting pay for a lifeguard here in Raleigh goes for about $14 an hour. Over in Durham, it's a little higher, just over $19 an hour. Flint Snyder, WRAL News, live in Raleigh.
And we're following some breaking news in Mebane, where fire crews battled an apartment fire early this morning. This video was taken by a neighbor at the Stonebrook Apartments on Dogwood Drive. You can see the massive flames and smoke billowing from the roof of that building. It happened shortly before 2 o'clock this morning. We're working to learn what caused the fire and how many units were affected.
We're also working to learn the source of this massive power outage that's currently being reported in Macon County, North Carolina. Good morning. I'm Chris Levingood here in the WRAL Live Center. You'll see that there's this little icon on the map tracking at least 21,000 from Duke Energy right here. And if I click that, you'll see the communities that are being affected, including Franklin, North Carolina. If you look at here, this poweroutage.us map, let me go back one page to show you what it looks like. It's reporting, again, 24,000 customers without power of the nearly 30,000 customers that this website tracks here. So I've reached out to first responders in Macon County. Oddly enough, it went straight to, voicemail. I thought at least that might answer, but I did talk with one person at a hotel in Franklin who says, yes, things are in the dark. As for why that's happening, it's not quite clear because at the time the power went out around 3 o'clock, there was no storms being reported. So as soon as we hear back from Duke Energy, we'll report it here on the WRAL Live Center.
A motorcyclist is recovering after being seriously hurt in a crash overnight. Raleigh police say that motorcycle crashed near Hillsborough Street and Brooks Avenue around 9 p.m. and the person was taken to the hospital. Police and fire were on the scene last night working that crash, and the road was eventually reopened.
Breaking news, a person is in the hospital with life-threatening injuries after being hit by a vehicle in Fayetteville. This is video from the WRAL breaking news tracker on Owen Drive near Village Drive. The crash happened about 10:45 last night. The driver involved remained on scene. We are working to learn if that driver will face any charges.
A man is in the hospital this morning after being shot in the chest in Fayetteville. Officers responded to a shot spotter call near Center Street just after 5 p.m. The man was taken to the hospital with life-threatening injuries. The investigation continues there. And police in Goldsboro need your help finding a missing mother and her 2 children. Take a look at your screen. This is 30-year-old Jasmine Wilson and one of her kids, 4-month-old Zayden. We don't have a picture of her 2-year-old daughter, Jade, who is also missing. Police say Wilson was last seen June 10th at the Irish Inn on Sunburst Drive. Anyone with information is asked to contact Goldsboro Police.
Happening today, Minnesota lawmaker Melissa Hortman and her husband, Raleigh native Mark Hortman, will lie in state. The man accused of killing them earlier this month is due in court. Mourners will pay their respects at the state capitol in St. Paul starting at noon. The Hortmans were killed in their home on June 14th in what police say was a politically motivated assassination. Today, a judge is expected to determine whether the man accused of killing them, Vance Bolter, should remain in custody without bail. And a Wake County deputy is back on the job after he was placed on leave 2 months ago for shooting a dog. Back in April, the deputy showed up at a home on Lord Berkeley Road to serve a civil process warrant. Security video shows him entering the empty home through an open door. The dog, named Zelda, begins barking off camera. 4 gunshots are heard about a minute later. On video, the deputy explains why he shot the dog. Zelda's owner, Paige Briggs, says she's bothered by the decision to reinstate the deputy.
Came right at me. I put my leg out like this. That's when he bit me, and I had to unfortunately she lived.
While it's personal for us because of our pet, it should bother everybody in Wake County that he is going to be on the job.
And the Wake County Sheriff's Office issued a statement saying it will not go into more detail about his reinstatement.
Today, the defense team for Sean Diddy Combs will deliver its closing argument. Prosecutors wrapped up their closing argument in the criminal trial against Combs yesterday. For 5 hours, they argued the music mogul led a criminal enterprise and abused his romantic partners and employees. Prosecutors say he got away with his crimes because of his money, power, and influence. 10 after 6 on your Friday. Coming up, new arrest. A fifth person has been arrested in a 2022 shooting that killed a person and left another paralyzed. We have details on the new developments in this case.
And foul play suspected. Deputies shedding new light on their investigation after 3 people were found dead after a house fire.
And definitely another hot afternoon. Our heat index will be in the low 100s. I'll show you how much heat remains as we get into the weekend coming up.
As you get into your car, tune to WRAL News Plus on your radio. In Raleigh on 99.3 FM. In Durham, 96.5 FM. And everywhere on 101.5 HD3.
6:13. At least it's a nice start out there. We're definitely looking at a window of opportunity to get outside, get things you need to get done in the yard, do a little exercise before it really gets hot later on this afternoon. 74 in Wilson, 74 Durham, 76 in Fayetteville right now. We are seeing some high thin clouds left over from yesterday's thunderstorms, but it's not really going to have an impact on our weather. We'll have another round of storms later on today. And it will be hot. Our high temperatures will be in the mid 90s. It'll feel more like low 100s. But on Wednesday, when we had the extreme heat, it felt like 110 or hotter. I mean, this is not much consolation, but at least we're getting somewhere, right? It is 66 in Roxborough. It is mostly in the low to mid 70s across the rest of the region. We do have the potential for some severe storms. Again, for this afternoon, similar to yesterday, just a handful of those, a 30 to 40% chance this afternoon. Ken?
Hey, Elizabeth, happening now in the WRAL Traffic Center. That stormy night caused quite a bit of problems in Apex, Highway 55, Williams Street shut down in both directions, right around the Beaver Commons area. You can see Duke Energy crews working to restore power and get that road back open. It's going to take some time. Now, back here in the WRAL Traffic Center, you want to get around this area coming south on Williams Street, get off on Highway 64. If you're coming north, you want to avoid that area altogether. You've got Olive Chapel Road that turns into Hunter Street, maybe Apex Speedway, even Haddon Hall Drive. A couple of options for you coming up. And Jeff, in less than 5 minutes, a look at some of the major routes coming into the capital city.
You know, I live over in that area. Yeah. It is going to be a major inconvenience for folks. Ken, thanks. Johnston County Sheriff's Office made a new arrest in a 2022 shooting that killed a man and left a woman paralyzed. Nearly 4 years ago, Alex Shirley and Sophie Hagee were in a car when gang members fired 20 shots into the vehicle on Josephine Road. Shirley was killed. Hagee was left paralyzed from the waist down. 4 people were charged after that shooting. A 5th person now, Kevon Nicholson, was arrested and charged just this week. Families of the victims spoke with WRAL, and they say they are happy with the latest arrest, but they still have to live with the impacts of that shooting every day.
It's just really impressive to see the amount of time and effort that the Sheriff's Department in Johnston County has put into this case.
Ever since the day that she got shot, she's pretty much been in pain every day. She's trying recently to resume her college courses that she had to quit when she got shot. But even doing that is a struggle.
Nicholson was taken into custody in Philadelphia and is being extradited to North Carolina.
We are getting new insight into why authorities determined foul play was involved in a house fire in southern Wake County earlier this week. We know that search warrants revealed the victims who were found dead inside the burning home had been shot. Bullet casings and other items were also found in the home. The warrants show the fire started in 2 places, but a cause has not been determined. 49-year-old Shannon Collins, 2 teenagers, and 2 cats were found dead. An incident report shows deputies responded to a domestic violence call the day before the fire. We spoke to Collins' daughter, who described her estranged father as violent.
Always just felt, afraid for her that something like this would happen.
We've reached out to the Wake County Sheriff's Office trying to get clarity on a suspect. They told us they are not looking for one at this time. The medical examiner's office will determine the official cause of death.
Remembering our friend and colleague Charlie Gaddy, loved ones gathered at his funeral in Raleigh to say goodbye. For 24 years, Gaddy connected with our community. He helped to tell stories and pave the way for journalism in the Triangle. He passed away this month at the age of 93. Funeral services were held at Edenton Street United Methodist Church.
Governor Josh Stein has approved sweeping reforms for North Carolina's foster care and child welfare system. This is an issue WRAL has covered extensively through our reporting and our WRAL documentary, Broken Foster Care in North Carolina. The new law gives state officials more authority within county-run social services departments. Fun with Legos, Pride Month, and a food truck rodeo on the agenda for the Triangle this weekend.
Love a good rodeo, especially if there's food involved.
Yeah.
Let's take you to a tour of our WRL Out and About best bets here.
Yeah, the Brick Universe Lego Convention gets underway at the Raleigh Convention Center tomorrow. This will be the 11th year the convention has been held in the Triangle. The two-day event will include Lego exhibits and artwork, and artists will get a chance to talk about their creative brick pieces. The convention gets underway tomorrow at 10 a.m. Tickets are available online.
There are more Pride events this weekend that are happening in the Triangle. Boxcar Bar and Arcade is hosting a Pride Month vendor market in Durham tomorrow. Local businesses will be participating. Drinks will be available for purchase. The market will take place noon until 4 p.m.
And tomorrow, also a great day for food truck lovers. More than 50 trucks will be at the Raleigh Food Truck Rodeo downtown. People will get a chance to support locally owned trucks. The event will be on Fayetteville Street from noon until 6 p.m. And you can find a full list of Out and About pics at WRAL.com. Just click the Out and About tab. We all are going to be out and about doing something this weekend, right?
If none of that floats your boat, we're going to go out to White Lake. We're going to go out to White Lake and just do it.
Yeah. Get in the water. That's always going to be a good place to be. And, we're going to have a window of opportunity in the morning. So I know, Jeff, I know you want to get out and play golf. It's going to be, an early kind of a thing. Probably those tee times early in the morning are going to be tough to get. So you know what happens in the afternoon in the summertime? We have those afternoon thunderstorms and it gets really hot. For today, we have another potential for some severe storms. Of course, we've been talking about the power outages in Apex and how that may really affect people this morning. We'll talk more about that in just a little bit, but we could have another repeat of that this afternoon. Winds gusting 40 to 60 miles per hour and some heavy rain, but it'll be isolated. We only had 4 reports of wind damage across our area yesterday, and it's likely to be something similar. Of course, all the storms from yesterday have fizzled out for now, but as we get into our daytime heating, we are likely to have more of those. So we ended up with 1 report of wind damage up in Mecklenburg County, Virginia, and then we had 1 in Apex. This is the one that's been causing the power outages and some traffic issues for this morning. A couple of those around Jordan Lake and then 1 in Sanford. So just a small handful, and that's what I would expect to see again today. Once we get closer to lunchtime, we begin to see the cells developing. There's not really an area favored over another. We're just going to see those pop-up storms here and there with that potential for some heavy rain and some wind damage. It's a 30% chance for today, tomorrow, and Sunday, and a 50% chance on Tuesday when another front starts to move in. But in the meantime, it's just those pop-up cells. We take a live look at Carolina Beach. Lots of people out there lining up for that sunrise, looking absolutely beautiful around here. We're going to see again that chance of late day storms and the heat. It'll feel like 100 to 102 this afternoon. Heat advisory would be 105. So we don't have a heat advisory in our forecast for the weekend into early next week because we're going to keep it just under that heat advisory criteria. However, it's still going to be uncomfortable. We'll have that chance of afternoon and evening thunderstorms, Ken. I mean, this is just our typical summer pattern.
Yeah, it's North Carolina and it's southern.
Absolutely.
But the storm that you just talked about, Elizabeth, caused quite a bit of problems in the Apex area. We're talking about Williams Street, Highway 55, if you will, down power lines as a result of what happened there last night. It's around the Beaver Commons area on Williams Street, Highway 55. Here's a live look at that scene right now, courtesy of photographer Michael Joyner. You can see really and truly Duke Energy crews are out there trying to get everything situated and get that power restored. Road is a situation where we're not sure exactly when it's going to be open, but just stick with us here in the WRAL Traffic Center. And if you've got some other options, you can go on Highway 64 to avoid that area if you're heading south. If you're heading north of William Street, you've got Olive Chapel Road, Apex Peak, even Haddon Hall Drive is a couple of alternate routes. You're getting ready to head into the car. Tune us in on the radio. We keep you updated, 101.5 HD3.
Thanks, Ken. Still ahead, grand reopening. Governor Josh Stein will be in Western North Carolina for the reopening of Chimney Rock State Park. We'll tell you why the governor says this is important in the Helene recovery process.
And schools' cell phone restrictions. There's a new proposal headed to Josh Stein's desk, and we'll tell you about what could potentially be in store for students if that bill is signed. And here, have a look at your winning NC Education lottery numbers on your screen. We're back with what's trending next.
This What's Trending report, sponsored by Rug & Home.
A comedy legend announces his next tour and a new chapter in the 007 saga.
Ken Smith here now with what's trending on a Friday morning, Ken.
Yeah, that comedy legend we're talking about, Jeff Michelle, Adam Sandler. He's hitting the road this year and is scheduled to make a stop in the Triangle. This will be part of his stand-up tour called You're My Best Friend.
Hey, you know, he's got the Happy Gilmore thing out of the way and the 30-city tour. That's it, just 30 cities. We're one of them in September. The 11th in Raleigh, Lenovo Center. Can't wait.
That's going to be wild. I love it. Bond.
James Bond.
Yeah? A new director taking the helm of the next Bond movie. Amazon MGM Studios recently bought the franchise, announcing director Denis Villeneuve will direct the next Bond film. Now, Daniel Craig made his Bond exit after the 2021 film, No Time to Die. No word yet, though, on who the next Bond will be.
I know, we're all waiting patiently to see who the next
Some names are being floated,
though. Yes. Villeneuve has directed other budget films, including Dune 1 and 2, and Blade Runner as well. So he's, he's no stranger to some big budget films. So we'll have to see what he does with 007 again.
What about a female Bond?
Listen, I like it.
How radical is that?
Not crazy.
I like that.
Just wait. Ken, thanks. Coming up, a roadway is shut down. William Street in Apex flooded with crews trying to fix power lines after storms overnight. We will have the latest on efforts to get everything cleaned up.
And lifeguard shortages as people try and cool off from the heat. Some pools are facing staffing shortages. We'll tell you what is being done to address the problem.
And that heat definitely continues today. It's going to feel like triple digits for this afternoon. I'll let you know if this continues through the weekend coming up.